I'm way too convinced people are just so stuck in reality. They disassociate themselves from everything that's going on around them because it's just easier to avoid it than it is to actually work at it to try and fix the things that are broken. Sometimes the fight's not always the right thing, but sometimes the fight's the only thing, and it always should at least be a considerable option depending on what the situation is. But too many people are just allowing themselves to take a step back when trouble faces them. And unfortunately, that doesn't get you anywhere in life. That doesn't work on anything. It doesn't make any improvements. That doesn't help you. It doesn't fix relationships. There's so much to be, worked on that on a daily basis that most of us just sit idle. We like ADHD here, just like myself. Like we just end up kind of sitting stuck in this like paralyzed state of not sure what to do next because what to do next isn't obvious. And when it's not obvious, we just lock up. We have no idea what to do. But the reality is, it doesn't matter what you do next. What you do next is important because you're doing it. You're doing something. You're moving. You're being active. You're actually trying new things. You're coming up with ideas and you're working on them. Excuse me. Life keeps going. It really does. Like one way or another, life finds a way. Even I love when the worst days come because the worst day means that no matter what, the next day isn't going to be possibly worse. It could, but the likelihood of when you hit rock bottom is there's only the upside. There's nothing else to be look forward to. I always like the hardest day at work because it makes the average hard day at work somehow significantly easier than the absolute shit show that the hardest day was previously. And a lot of people don't understand that. It's kind of a weird mentality, but it was used a lot in ancient times. It was used a lot in Roman times, but it's stoicism and everything else. I mean, there's some beauty to it. There's some beauty in the thoughts and the notions of what it was like, and to come across life and see it in a completely different light. And I think too many of us, unfortunately, see life only through a lens. We see it through our devices. We see it through headphones. We see it through speeches of people who haven't actually experienced life, but they like to describe it as if they have, because unfortunately, they're also tuned into what everybody else is doing and what everybody else's life is like. So when you're hearing somebody talk about what life is and what it's about, half the time it's just this disassociation with the clout of social media, the clout of what it means to be successful versus just average. And unfortunately, average is pretty freaking cool when you look at it, but we're not average. We're all unique. We're all different. We all have our own set of circumstances. We have our own backgrounds, our own backstories, our own traumas. And I think too many people just get sucked into our backgrounds and our traumas and all these other things that we just lock onto and we stay victims for the rest of our life. But we're not victimizing ourselves to everybody else. We're just victimizing ourselves to ourselves. We're not actually giving ourselves the benefit of the doubt. And it's sad. It's kind of it's unfortunate, but it's kind of what you see today. It's just too many people getting locked into what they suspect is the right move or what they should do next. I mean that's just not how it works at all. The next best move is actually the move you decide to make. So I think it's really important that we just remember to go outside, and walk around the neighborhood, enjoy the area in which you live, enjoy the people that you surround yourself with, enjoy the relationships, enjoy the work life balance, enjoy the hardships that you've had to face to get to this point. So when everything is pretty easy and pretty complacent, you can enjoy it, but don't allow yourself to get too complacent. Complacency is the enemy of all. I saw it way too much in my previous job. People would just, it was the easiest job they'd ever had. It was the most amount of money they ever made for relative to the amount of work. And yes, it was a good job, but I saw so many people spend 40 years of their life just doing the same thing daily over and over again. They work one day, work the next day, clock in, clock out. That's it. Some of them worked overtime because they were chasing money because there was money to be made. Other people didn't. But even then, I just saw people doing the same routines. They weren't traveling. They weren't taking care of their families. The relationships sucked. Their health was absolutely terrible. Most of them would retire at 65 years old. And when they would retire, it was kind of a known thing that on average, 7 out of every 10 would die within about 3 to 5 years after retirement because everything with the stress and the health was just terrible while working in that environment. But beyond that, it was just the complacency, the fact that like they spent an entire career working on one thing, one way of doing it. And then at the end of it, they don't have any hobbies. They don't have anything to keep them interested. So now they're retired with nothing to do. They just sit on the couch and do absolutely nothing. Become couch potatoes and ruin the rest of their life. Like, oh, I'm going to travel. I'm going to do this. Well, money's tight. The economy might be bad. Flights might cost more than they expected. Medical's way worse than it's ever been. And it's probably going to continue until something drastically changes. But there's so many other things that you get caught up in that you can't spend 40 years thinking about, because 40 years down the road you don't know if it'll exist, but you still have to technically prepare for it. So if you're preparing for it, knowing that potentially things can go either really well or bad, you shouldn't wait 40 years to start doing the things you want to do. If you want to be a writer, start writing right now. Pick up the laptop, start clicking away, make a post on LinkedIn, make a post on Instagram, make a post on Facebook, write an article, try and submit it, write a small short story and submit it to a writing committee and see if something comes out of that. Like, there's so many options to you. There's so many things you can do. If you want to be a musician, you can create your own music and upload it to SoundCloud. Now, yeah, you may not get a record deal, but you're technically a musician. You're creating music. You don't have to necessarily be on a stage and play in front of people to be considered a musician. You just have to do what you love to do. I'm doing this because this is what I love to do. I love talking to people. I love having conversations and trying to get people to feel better and just get people to be a little more energized, a little more excited about the potentials of life and what's potentially out there and how they can enjoy it. I think so many people are just stuck. They're just refusal. They're just completely stuck, and they refuse to actually try and do anything. So unfortunately, it seems like a lot of the time that people just get locked in and they refuse to get themselves out of their own way to prevent great things from coming their way. Many people's greatest achievement is who they pick as a spouse, and to do that, you have to take the risk of, there's so many unknowns. You have to take the risk of, hopefully you dress the right way, where when you walk into the bar, she might be interested in you, or wherever you are. But when you walk into the place where she might be interested in you. So you had to take all those chances. Then you had to get prepped. Then you had to get your hair cut. Then you had to get cleaned up. Then you have to choose the right clothing that might make her look your way. But you're doing all this unbeknownst to knowing she even exists, or that she might be there, or this person might be the person that you spend the rest of your life with. Get that whole process at risk. That whole process is a step into, the unknown. It's just complete potential that may or may not exist. You can't bank on it. You can't trust it. You can't assume it's going to be there. And yet you do that risk. And then at the end of the night, you have to walk up to them. You have to introduce yourself. You have to start a conversation from scratch. You can't be weird. You can't say the wrong thing even one time, really, on the first date, because anything you say will just put her in a headspin, and then immediately you're out. So you got to do all these steps, and every single one of those steps is a risk. If it's a pass-fail, and if you fail any one of those steps, you're out, and you don't get a second date. You don't even get to see him again. You don't even get a right phone number, depending on how the situation goes, even if she's interested. And on top of that, she still has to be interested, which there's nothing you can do about that. So everything you do to get to one of the best situations you'll ever be, which is finding the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, and the person that you love for the rest of your life. I fully intend on being with my wife for 50 years. We've been together 10. I mean, I imagine 50, because all the energy drinks I drink, my heart's probably going to explode, but I don't imagine I'm going to have a long life. But I'm going to spend the rest of my life with her, but every step of the way was risk. Every step of the way, we had to try, put ourselves in a trial to see if we can get to the next step, and see if we can keep pushing ourselves forward. And it worked. And it's the most incredible feeling on the planet. And I think so many people are so scared because they just believe every one of those steps, not only is every one of those steps impossible and they don't exist, and I'm going to let you know they do, but I think they also have this predisposition where they truly believe that not only does it maybe not exist from previous bad experiences, but they also believe that every one of those pass fails, they fail. Just across the board. Doesn't matter. Oh, I wore the wrong shoes. No one's going to be interested. Oh, my hair color sucks. Hair sucks. She's not going to be interested. Oh, my personality sucks. She's not going to be interested. My job's not cool enough. She's not interested. She wants a guy with a cooler job that makes more money. You don't know. You don't. And anyone who says they do is just completely full shit. So sometimes you just have to put yourself out there, take risks. You have to do that with your job. I left a great paying job. But it was in an area where the money was starting to balance out, where even the great paying job was getting harder and harder to live on. I definitely in that area was never ever going to be able to buy a house. So I don't think that's really going to happen for many people come into the future. I hope that it does. I hope that we all can at least achieve that little bit of the American dream. And we might. In some areas, you're going to have to, make some, what is it? You're going to have to make some, I can't remember the name. You're going to have to come to terms with it, basically. You're going to have to, settle down in different areas and things that you may not have actually desired at the beginning, but you're going to have to make compromises. There we go. Jeez. That's why I need the coffee. Yeah, so you're going to have to make some compromises. throughout your life. But, that's the nature of living. Sometimes you just have to do it because it's the right thing. And I think too many of us too many of us are just struggling because unfortunately the only compromises we seem to be making are the ones with ourselves. That's it. The used to be that you would make a lot of compromises with the world, where you lived, what you wanted to do, what your job was, what your education level was, what you tried to do, who your friends were, what family you decided to bring around at certain holidays, what holidays you celebrate, stuff like that. That was all a compromise. We were all deciding one thing or another, and it has different benefits and different pros, cons to it. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of people are so getting stuck in this like little area of existence that they feel that, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, have to do this, have to do this. Like I left that really great paying job because I couldn't afford the area. Even that great paying job was, I knew down the road wasn't enough. And even that, the great paying job wasn't making me as happy as I could. This makes me as happy as I could. This is the craziest thing ever. And I don't plan on it being, a money making thing. That's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I love this. I love film. I love editing. I love having conversations. Love talking with people. Love trying to get people motivated. It's what I used to do when I was growing up, and I realized there's a way to do it. But my education level, I didn't go to college, so I couldn't be a psychologist. I couldn't actually try and help people on the clinical level. College was never an option. I had to start from the ground up. So I had to go into a field that also excited me, which was trades. And I still love trades. I think they're great. It's definitely the area of expertise that the world's going to need more down the road, especially with AI coming up. Because AI and computers will never be able to weld a pipe. They'll never be able to rewire an entire building or work in an HVAC system. And there's really great money in those fields, especially at the commercial level. But, I think that you shouldn't be afraid to change your life and try new things. Like I left my great paying job for my wife so she can get her PhD, and we had to move cross country. And we love it. We love living where we live and trying something new. And yeah, we make less money. We make significantly less money. But we're still okay. I'm still breathing. I still get to do the things I want to do. I still have fun. I'm still able to enjoy a nice thing or two or go out to eat. I have a basic level, and it's significantly less than it was. And I'm happier than I've ever been in my life because I don't have to push so hard for it. And it's not that I'm not willing to work hard. I've worked harder than I ever have in anyone in my family in the last 10 years. And yet it still didn't provide me with the fulfillment that I was looking for. So this does. This is the thing I want to do. I want to have conversations with people. I want to talk to them. I want to have our fun. And I want to just experience life with other people and tell stories. I want to tell their stories. I want to help people get through some of the hardships, and I want to get people motivated for some of the great things that are laying wait for those of us that have this significant ambition and truly believe that there's so much more for us out there, because there is. Like life keeps going. I mean, there's so much worth living for, and I felt as high as I could possibly feel, and I felt as low as I could possibly feel, and felt like life wasn't even worth it at times. And I know there's so many of us out there that have felt that at a time or another. And I got to tell you, living when it's good, it's pretty freaking sweet. Even when it's bad, it's still pretty good. It's like pizza, but it took a really long time for me to fully believe that and fully trust that and believe in myself, and just this overall sense of belief of like I don't know what's next for me, but I'll figure it out. I got to put the next foot forward. Something will come my way. I'll throw anything at a wall and see if something sticks. Let's figure it out. Let's see what goes. So yeah, so I fully believe that. I think more people just really need to believe in themselves, and I think we really need to believe in our understanding. If we feel like we need to try something new, whether it's a job or a lifestyle or a relationship, I think you just got to go for it. I think life's way too short. I've watched people, people die a lot earlier than 65. Many of us don't get to retirement, but those of us that get to retirement end up with a lot of regrets because they didn't spend their time focusing on the things they wanted to do. So it's catch-22. So how do you balance it all? That's up to you, but if you want to do something, I suggest that you fully intend, especially if you're in your 20s, go for it. Go balls to the wall. Do absolutely everything you can to chase your dream, even if it's at its most ridiculous level, because the most ridiculous dream is not possible at 65, but it might be possible if you start at 20. It might be possible if you start at 30 or at 40 or at 50. Life isn't over, no matter what your age is. There's no definitive, oh, I'm 48, so it's just all downhill. I need to just play caution and play it safe. There's nothing in the world that describes that. You can change your life in a million ways, and there's a billion stories for that. But you just got to believe. You just got to keep pushing yourself, and you got to try new things. And it's hard watching people that you care about, or just people in general that just get in this mindset whirlwind where they're just trapped in their own reality and they refuse to make any change or give up, or make a change that might be significantly beneficial in how their life and the focus of their life comes to be going into the future. So I don't know, another pep talk. Just wanted to give you guys an update and have a quick conversation with you. Hopefully some people out here needed to hear it, or some people were just interested. All right. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I can't wait to talk to you guys some more. And yeah, thanks again.